Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to another Wild Rift video. And to my surprise, the new patch notes just got released. I saw it on Twitter, so I'm making a video of it. I have absolutely no idea what's happening except for the release of Sivir. So I'm interested, like, apparently, look at the right side. Look at, there are so many changes. So I have zero clue about any of this. Let's read through it together. Get yourself some coffee, get yourself some tea, get yourself some popcorn, because this is probably gonna be a pretty long video. So this patch we're sprinting onto the Rift with Sivir. Lots of balance updates coming your way as well. Strap in and welcome to patch 4.4b. Get ready, set, go. It's patch 4.4b. This patch we're sprinting, yeah, we read that. The Battle Mistress, accompanying her will be a fun event and 2 brand spanking skins. Honestly, I don't care about this. She's coming November 24th. I'm bringing out this video November 22nd. She's gonna come out like basically tomorrow at night for EU. You know what I mean? Like for EU tomorrow at night. So I'm gonna make, of course, I'm gonna make a guide on Sivir. Yeah. All right. I made a Sivir video, by the way. If you want to see how she works, if you want to see her gameplay, you can actually check it out in one of my Sivir videos. And yeah, I want to remind you guys before getting into it, I am doing a skin giveaway, and all you have to do to enter is put on a comment on the video. I actually want to hear what your thoughts are after you've watched the video. I'm really curious what you guys think about all these changes. I'm also gonna guess every time what's gonna happen to the champions. Darius. I'm gonna assume, maybe a bit controversial, I'm gonna assume he's gonna get buffed. So let's see. We noticed that the effect of Darius Hemorrhage has not been impactful. Yeah, I knew he was gonna get buffed, which is not ideal since the bleed it provides is essential to his kit. They're talking about the passive, you know, like when he bleeds the enemy. When you hit enemies multiple times, how much damage it does, like the bleeding. This buff will return Darius to his glorious state. Have fun dunking. His Hemorrhage. So the damage it used to do was 13 plus 1.5 times your level. This is the base damage. Plus 30% bonus attack damage. In physical damage over 5 seconds, and every second it would do a tick of damage. Now it does 13 plus 2 times your level. So this is already quite a substantial buff. Like in the late game, a half times 15. In the late game, it's gonna do 7.5 more damage per tick, which is in total gonna be like nearly 40 extra damage if you've gotten the full stacks. You get that for free when you're level 15. Next up, they're also giving you 10%. Oof. This is huge. Oh man, this is insane. Basically, they essentially buffed the bleed damage by nearly 25%. In the early game, it's not necessary. It's gonna be way less than 25, but in the late game, the bleed damage is gonna be around 23, 24, 25% higher, which is insane. I just want to say that is an insane buff. The bleed, this is crazy. This is actually crazy. Like huge buff to the bleed right here. Huge. Decimate. This is his first ability. It heals more too. Also pretty big. Like if you're able to hit 2 or 3 enemies in the late game, you will be able to heal for up to 45% of your HP. And it heals more when you are low HP. This is also pretty big, but I want to say this is the real big one. Oh wow. This is gonna bring back Darius, because Darius' ultimate is already strong. The problem he indeed had was his bleed damage. This is huge. Ezreal. I don't think they'll nerf Ezreal, even though I think Ezreal is strong. I actually think they're gonna buff him. So let's see. This Explorer is struggling to make an impact. You know what? Do I agree with this? I think like the real good Ezreal players don't really struggle too much, but let's see what they buff about him. Especially when compared to his peers. These changes will make his early game stronger, helping with those early scraps in the Dragon Lane. Oh wow. No way. He has 4 extra base attack damage. Like if you run Brutal with him and then this as well, this will make him so much stronger early game. This is already quite big. Attack speed bonus per stack. Oh wow. They are going hard with these buffs, dude. What is this? When you reach 4 stacks, you're getting 12% attack speed for free. That is crazy. Actually, these are crazy. These are already like, I think this would already be enough to make him good. They're also reducing the cooldown on his first ability. At level 1 from 5.25 to 4.5 and a 4.5 to 4, 3.6. Okay, this is not as much of a buff as it looks like, because you always max your first ability first. This is just a little bit of an early game buff. This is gonna make him very strong. Like, He's already quite strong. This is definitely gonna bring him to S+ tier. 100% sure. Galio, I think they're gonna buff him. Even I think Galio is strong already, but I think they'll buff him. Is it just us or is Galio a little squishy? Yep, they're gonna buff him. For someone literally made out of stone. We've buffed some base numbers for him, and now hopefully he can protect his team as well as he protects Demacia. He has more base health, more base armor. Okay, he's gonna be beefier in the early game. Hecarim, I think they're gonna buff him. I actually think they're gonna buff him because I feel like they nerfed him a bit too much. I think they're gonna buff him up a little bit. It's always a spooky time around Hecarim. Lately, this horse has been even more spooky since he's been trampling over anyone who comes into his path. These changes will make him... Oh, they're nerfing him. They'll make him easier to deal with, whether you face him in the jungle or he's speeding into your lane for a gank. Oh, really? I don't think he deserves a nerf. He's fine. They're taking away 4 base attack damage, sorry, and 30 health. Damn, this already hurts early game. Rampage. Which ability is this? Which ability is this? I don't know which ability this is. Is this his first? Don't tell me they nerfed his first ability this hard. Please don't tell me this is his first. If this is his first ability? Yeah, this is his first ability, I think. Because recast, yeah, this is his first ability. Okay, they absolutely ruined him early game. They've essentially made Hecarim a late game champion. They absolutely ruined, like, look at this. Goes from 10 to 5. Half of the damage, and then from 20 to 15, and from 30 to... This is crazy. Like, you really need to get to level 7 for him to be, like, decent now. Oh, wow. This is actually pretty huge. Like, his early game is very, very weak right now. Even his late game, they're nerfing, like, the empowered damage. Wow, actually, this is a huge nerf. I think they're gonna buff Irelia. Let's see. Our Blade Dancer has been underperforming, yep, on the Rift, especially in teamfights where she should shine. I'm gonna say I hope they don't buff her too much, because she can very easily snowball out of control. We think these buffs to her passive and third ability will have her blades run through her enemies faster, you could say, for Iona. Bonus damage at maximum stacks. This is her passive. So the bonus damage you would get would be 30 at level 1, up to 100 at maximum level, plus 25% attack damage. Now it goes from 30 to 120. Plus 30% attack damage. So Irelia did definitely not need a buff early game. Definitely not. But this is gonna make her a bit better late game. Like, Irelia is already a bit of a weaker late game champion, but this is gonna bring her up late game. Like, this actually makes her still decent in the late game. A good buff, I would say. Very good. And then her third ability has a lower cooldown. It's not gonna make her broken. This is just gonna make her more playable. I think these are good buffs. I think Jinx is gonna get nerfed. Jinx feels way too obnoxious to play against. What is gonna happen? Get excited! For some adjustments, Jinx has been... Yep, that's what I thought. Jinx has been dominating the dragon lane. These changes will give her opponents some room to breathe. Get excited. That's her passive. So if you kill an enemy or a turret, you get a little bit less attack, a little bit less movement speed, and significantly less attack speed too. I think this is good, because her passive was way too broken. Like, you just kill a turret or kill an enemy, and you just run down the enemy. Bonus attack speed of the Pew Pew minigun is gonna be less in the late game, better in the early game, but this is a pretty substantial nerf, 120 to 110. Damage on Fizzbows, oh, they're reducing the rocket damage from 110 to 107. You know what, I think these are enough nerfs to make her still very good, but just not obnoxiously good, you know what I mean? This is... Like, they really made sure they nerfed her in a way that it's not too much. This is just enough. I like it. Karma is very obviously getting nerfed, completely broken. Karma has been having a hard time? Karma has been having a hard time. Wait. I think something is in my eyes. Give me a second. Karma has been having a hard time. We're giving her some buffs across the board to help her be a more valuable and competitive choice in mid lane. What are they talking about? Even Karma in the support is by far, like, is easily doing the most damage in the game. Now let's see what they're buffing then. Inner Flame. I don't know which ability this is. I actually don't know which one this is. I think second ability. Whichever it is, it's getting a 1 second cooldown reduction. Transcendent Embrace. That's her ultimate. Okay. Karma will be broken tier. Karma will be broken tier. This is not normal. Like, her ultimate now does more base damage, and it has 20% more. Okay, she will be broken. Like, this is gonna make her broken. Support Karma, her ultimate will basically one-shot enemies right now. This is absolutely ridiculous. Like, No way. Like, they didn't even buff it to 70%. They straight up buffed it to 80%. It's gonna do... What are they... What is Riot Smoking doing this, man? This is crazy. And you know what's also crazy? You guys not liking the video. If you're enjoying the video, make sure you give it a like. It just supports the channel a lot. And, yeah, okay. That was a joke, by the way. If you don't want to do it, it's totally fine. But this is crazy. Lulu, please nerf her. I don't even want to, like, if it's a buff, I'm done with this video. Lulu's able to sit back and buff her teammates a safe distance away, which makes her difficult to counter. And these changes will balance out some of the utility she's able to provide. She has way less armor. This is really good. This is going to make her way squishier. So like a Zed diving a Lulu can absolutely blow her up. Help picks. This is the third ability. Wow, that's not a big nerf. That's just a very minor nerf. Basically nothing. Well, I guess she's squishier now. You can at least kill her a bit more easily. I guess that's good, but she needs more nerfs. Nunu and Willump. I think Nunu and Willump are gonna get a buff. Especially AP. I think especially AP. Nunu and Willump are having lots of fun together in the jungle, but they haven't been able to go on as many adventures in the lane. Wait, what? What do they mean with that? These changes will help them clear the jungle camps faster, okay? Freeing up the boy and the Yeti to join the fun elsewhere. Okay, so they're gonna make his jungle clear faster. His first ability cooldown gets reduced by 1 second, okay. And the healing gets increased ever so slightly, but it gets especially increased early game. Because look, goes from 60 to 80, is a lot in the early game. So like you can clear the jungle much more easily like this. His ultimate is getting a flat damage buff. Flat. So not AP. Early game especially. Look at this. 130 to 180. Huge early game buff for his ultimate. And of course, when you fully charge it up, it's gonna be even bigger buff. This is actually pretty nice. So like they're buffing Tank Nunu right here. Like Tank Nunu's ultimate will do significantly more damage right now. This is good. I love this change. Pantheon, very, very likely gonna get a huge, a small nerf. I'm gonna guess he's gonna get a nerf. Is there anything more fun than dropping out of the sky onto the enemies? How about doing it more frequently? Wow, they're actually buffing him. Now you can help your teammates more. No matter where you are, we're not responsible for any motion sickness this may cause. His ultimate has 5 seconds less cooldown. Wow, it's crazy to me that they're not really giving him a small nerf. Although I get it, because right now we have Crown of the Shattered Idiots, which I hope they're gonna nerf hard. But because of that item, it counters Pantheon. Renekton, I'm gonna assume, is getting a buff. He feels very weak right now. We want Renekton to dash into the fight and slice his foes. But right now he's dying, exactly. Before he gets a chance to. That is exactly true. Like, he's very squishy, and he's just not that strong. These changes to his ultimate will let him tank more damage while doing more damage. Okay. You're gonna gain more health. 50 more health. Okay, very good. The cooldown is lower. Again, very good. And the damage per second, you know, when you're around his ultimate, it does a certain amount of damage per second. It's gonna get a flat buff early game. And that's it. It's just basically like they're really buffing him early game. Also late game, but especially early game. Okay, interesting. I like it. I actually like it. So his ultimate will be much more valuable earlier on in the game. Riven. What can I guess for Riven? I think she's gonna get... I don't want to say it, but I think she will get buffed. But I don't want to say it. Riven hasn't been able to wield her Broken Blade in full effect. Yeah, I knew it. In full effectiveness against her opponents. Making some adjustments so that she can play a more scrappy style and fight for more early advantages. Runic Blade. This is... what is this? I think this is her passive. Like, she gets more damage on her passive. 20% plus 2% per champion level. Attack damage. Now it goes to 30%. Massive early game buff. This is huge early game. Also late game buff, but like very, very big early game buff. They're all... Yeah, I knew it. So this one is also early game buff. So her second ability is also getting early game buff. You know what the beauty is? This is actually also a late game buff. Because the second ability, you always max it last. And when they upgrade abilities like these at level 1, it's an even bigger buff than you may think. Like, obviously at maximum level, there is no change. But the majority of the game, you're gonna have this ability on level 1. So instead of it being 10 seconds, now you're gonna have the stun every 8.5 seconds. Of course, add ability haste to that, you're gonna have this ability up for like every 5 seconds or maybe even 4 seconds instead of it being 6-7 seconds with ability haste. Huge buff. These are huge buffs for Riven, especially early game. I actually think Swain is gonna get nerfed, by the way. Maybe a controversial opinion, but I think he's gonna get nerfed. For a Grand General, because I feel like they want to make Swain like more. They want to make more people play Swain. I think he's really good right now, but people just don't play him. So for a Grand General, Swain sure hasn't been making a grand impact. Yep, he has, but I don't know why they say he hasn't. If you have ornithophobia, these changes might not be for you. I have no idea what this means. So Ravenous Flock, this is his passive. Oh my lord, they're buffing. Oh, no way. This is no way. He's gonna be broken. He's actually gonna be broken. Instead of you gaining 12 health per soul, you now gain 16 health. Every time you hit your abilities on enemies, except for the first ability, you're gonna get a soul. Every time an enemy dies close to you, you get a soul. So every soul you get is now gonna give you 25%, no, actually 33% more health than before. Add to that the Overgrowth rune, which you always go on Swain, of course. Wow, in the late game he's gonna be able to get like hundreds of extra health, which is of course gonna be multiple basic attacks that he can tank extra. Demonic Ascension, this is his ultimate. It now has more AP scaling from 12 to 15, so he's gonna do more damage. What is this? Oh, sorry, he's gonna heal more. And he's gonna do a whole lot more damage from 10 to 15%. But Tank Swain is getting a little bit of a nerf. This is actually crazy. Like, this is actually crazy. Basically, you need to build AP plus tank. The build that I've always been giving you guys on Swain. You know what? Maybe Rod of Ages is now going to be viable on Swain with these changes. Maybe it will be. I think maybe it will be. We'll see. This is crazy. Swain will be ultra broken. Gameplay changes. All I'm asking for is Crown of the Shattered Queen. Bloodthirster. The Bloodthirster is way too broken. Surely they're nerfing it. Bloodthirster's build patch is getting updated. We wanted to even out its path so that you can pick a component up every time you return to the base and aren't left with awkward gold when you go to the shop and try to build it as your first item. We're also adjusting some numbers to balance out these changes. It still costs 3,300 gold. You just build different items, but it gives you less attack damage, 5 less. Okay, that makes sense. And gain attack speed when health is above 50%. Yeah, they're nerfing it, but that's good. I think that's good. I think that's good. The Campunk Chainsword. This item, I don't really know if it's good or not good. We'll see. We introduced Campunk Chainsword in patch 4.4, but it hasn't been the most popular purchase since its release. While Grievous Wounds is more of a niche pickup, we wanted to make some adjustments so that this item has power outside of its anti-heal. 5 extra attack damage, 50 extra health, and 5 extra ability haste. These are crazy buffs to the item. Damn! This item is very cheap. It's like 2,900 gold or something like. I think yeah, it's 2,900 gold. And now you get all of these stats for it. That's crazy. This is definitely going to be one of the best items now. Crazy. Crystalline Reflector. This item is trash now, so hopefully they're going to buff it a bit. Crystalline Reflector isn't as effective as we hoped. Yep, because it's trash. They really messed it up to be against physical damage opponents. These buffs will make it a reliable pickup when you're struggling against anyone hitting you a little bit too hard. So I see. So 50 extra maximum health. And now you are going to get the 7% magic penetration. They actually took that away from this item, which was, in my opinion, a very stupid choice. But now it acts like a normal magic item. It will give you damage as well. They're also buffing the tankiness of it by quite a lot. This is good. I think now the item will be good. This will be nice. Immortal Shield Bow. Immortal Shield Bow's unique abilities have been lackluster. Yeah, okay, maybe a little bit. Making it a less popular pick compared to other physical items. I think it's because the other items are just way stronger. It's not necessarily that this is a weak item. Because like Stormrazor, for example, no one ever builds Stormrazor anymore, you know what I mean? So like, they have to buff Stormrazor as well, right? So, these changes will make it a top pick again for those who need a little bit more protection. The shield goes from 200 to 300 now. The base shield goes up. So getting this as your first item, ooh, you're gonna get a huge shield early game. And Lifeline now gives you 8% vamp instead of 5. Damn, pretty huge buff indeed. Now we're gonna talk about the Green Book. We're adjusting the price of the Green Book and giving it health so that we can even out the utility and the stats it provides. 2,600 gold, so you're essentially paying 100 gold for 150 max health, which is a very good pay. So they're buffing the item, and this is good. This is great. Like, I think this is great. It's really warm. Let me actually take off my my sweater. Give me a second. Although it's warm, but I want to put this thing on. Sorry, where was I? Randuin's Omen. We've adjusted some numbers and its cost to make it a more efficient pickup when you're facing a crit-heavy enemy team. It's gonna be cheaper, but it's gonna give you 5 less armor. I think that's a good, that's good, because 100 gold for 5 armor is not worth it. But you know, of course, making it cheaper and you're only losing 5 armor is, of course, gonna be really good. So this is good. Oh wait, they're buffing the item too. Charges gained. Melee gains 25% pre-mitigation damage and range gains 18% pre-mitigation damage now. So you can stack up the stacks much more easily now. Damn, dude. That's actually crazy. Trinity Force. Tons of damage, tons of gold. Well, kind of. Right now we feel Trinity Force isn't doing as much damage as it should. Really? And it's also costing too much for what it does. We're adjusting both. The item now costs 3,333 gold. That's pretty funny. And it gives you 5 extra attack damage. This is such a massive buff, by the way. Literally 200 gold less. So you're gonna keep 200 gold for your next item. And it gives you 5 more attack damage as well on top of that. Wow. By the way, they're not even buffing the Storm Razor for some reason. Because now we go to the Rune Changes. Alright. Kraken Slayer. Kraken Slayer is good, right? Well, why are they changing Kraken Slayer? Kraken Slayer hasn't been a popular pickup. What do you mean? Kraken Slayer is a popular pickup. Okay, but let's see. And other keystones have been outshining it. We're giving it some more damage to try and make it a more desirable choice when picking up your runes. So the damage will go from 28 early game to 30. From 84 late game to 95. So it's, you could say, like a decent buff. And now it scales with 40% bonus attack damage. But still 20% ability power. This is gonna be so good for Senna, by the way. Oof! Because Senna has a huge amount of attack damage. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it's also gonna be playable on Jhin now. Like, no joke, because Jhin gets such a crazy amount of attack damage that, you know, 40% of your attack damage, like, I swear to God, that he can get like 800 attack damage. 40% of 800, you're gonna deal like into 3-4, like you're gonna do like 300 or 400 true damage with the Kraken Slayer on Jhin. That is actually ridiculous. Wow. I'm gonna try it. This is pretty crazy buff. They're changing the Ice Dragon's soul. Compared to the other dragon pals, the soul that Ice Dragon offers is less plentiful boon. Plentiful boon, I don't know what this means. These changes will raise it up to the same level as the others. 10% of the damage received during the mark becomes true damage. Now it's gonna be 12% is gonna become true damage. So basically like a first strike, but a bit stronger than first strike. It's also gonna slow the enemies more by 50% now. Okay, I think that's nice. What is this? Riot ID changes. You might have heard that we're making some updates about Riot ID changes. Paid name changes will now be free. You can now change your name every 90 days. Okay, nice, I guess. Ash, we're gonna get Ash and Conqueror Pantheon. Probably gonna be a disgusting pay-to-win skin. Don't buy those. Don't get those skins, guys. Don't fall for gambling. Glorious Armada Olaf. Is that one of those glorious ranked skins? That would be pretty cool. And a Blood Moon Saber. That's it. All right, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next Walder video. Bye bye.